All right, so I've got a guitar here that just kind of out of the blue, which is often the case with these things. I go to pick it up this morning and I have a major fret buzz problem. I can just tell the strings are way too close to the frets. It's buzzing out. Listen to this. So those are okay. That one's got a little more buzz than I like. I think a tiny bit of buzz is acceptable in the way I play. I like a super low action. I play heavy guitars and you'd never hear that through an amp. Although it's a little much, I'd probably deal with it, but these, just unplayable. And it's really probably all just in the open position. Decent on other parts of the neck, but open, just unacceptable. So just sometimes it happens. Climate changes, you know, there's been a lot of rain here lately. I hadn't played this guitar in a few weeks. It was playing fine before I picked it up, go to pick it up. So we got to do something about it, right? So there's a couple ways that we can tackle this right away. You could make string height adjustments from the bridge, but I like to avoid that whenever possible. I'll use it as a last step or a balancing act after I make a truss rod adjustment, which is what I'm going to attempt to do first to fix this guitar right now. And the truss rod runs along in the neck right here. And right now, I probably need to loosen it. As I look at it, it's very parallel with the 6th string. Typically, you want a little bit of relief in there. And when you lower the truss rod, it gives it a little bit of relief in the middle there. Let's call it like, you know, the middle of the fretboard, like this, bringing the fretboard away from the strings, so there'll be less buzz. Or if you were to tighten the truss rod, it tightens it out and can create back bow closer to the strings, and you get all that buzz. Right now, it's just a little too close to the strings, so we want to loosen it by backing off, going counterclockwise on the truss rod adjustment, which will lower the fretboard a little bit. We just need a little bit to get it out of the way, so when we hit an open string, it isn't fretting out on any of the frets there. So every guitar is different, but this particular one here, as you can see, a lot of the time it'd be at right above the nut there, where the neck meets the headstock. But this just has like a faux pas adjustment port there. That's nothing. It's just like painted on there or something. There's no real adjustment there. So then oftentimes it's right down here at the heel of the neck, and you'd see a wheel there. You can make adjustments from there, kind of like this one. On this Jackson, you see right there, the truss rod adjustment is right there. And in this case, you just put something in there. Not this, but you put it in there and you can just turn it like that. That's counterclockwise, or like this, that's clockwise. And it's the easiest way, in my opinion, to make truss rod adjustments. When they're at the top of the headstock on a lot of guitars, you see like a triangle there. That's the truss rod plate cover. And truss rod cover, you just take that off and then you can make your adjustments like this. There'll be different tools. I haven't looked inside this one in a long time, but typically it's an Allen wrench. Sometimes it's guys like this thing, this type of tool. See that there? And that'll just go in here, and then you just make your adjustments like that. But tightening is always clockwise, regardless of where you are. So let's say we're gonna do it from here. Tightening it would be like that, that's clockwise. Loosening it would be like that. But if you're doing it from the headstock up here, tightening would be this way, clockwise, and loosening. So same thing, just counterclockwise and clockwise. Clockwise tightens, counterclockwise loosens. We know it's not up here, it's gotta be under here. At first I was thinking that it's probably just under the pick guard. We have to remove the pick guard, but then I remembered it's actually a heel mount that's part of the neck, and this is a bolt-on. So we have to remove the neck to get to it. You'll see once we get in there. So it's a bit of a pain in the butt to do, but probably less of a pain in the butt than actually removing the pick guard to get in there, maybe having to remove the strings, I'm not even sure. But this way, we don't have to remove the strings. We just have to loosen them enough to be able to take the neck off to gain access to the adjustment point. And I don't know, this is just like my own superstition or something, but I actually hate taking the neck off because I feel like over time, again, this is just like a superstition, but I feel like over time that the neck creates a relationship with the body in terms of its sustain and just fits well together. And when you go and remove it, you kind of break that relationship. Yeah, we're gonna put it right back on and everything will probably be okay, but I just don't like to do it. You know, I don't like to break up a good couple. So I'm just gonna get this guy off here and we'll see what we're working with. I can't remember. I don't think if I've ever done it to this guitar. I can't remember. It's been so long. And maybe I'm gonna be wrong. Maybe it's under the pickguard. We'll see. Okay. Here goes nothing. Sure enough, there it is. See that adjustment point? That's what we got to do. So just looking at it, I'm guessing it's going to be this big guy, which is common. Let's see. Yep, perfect fit. If you're curious, this is a, let's see, do I see that somewhere? 5 millimeter. I'm sure you can't see that, but this is a 5 millimeter Allen wrench, and that's gonna work. So we needed to loosen it. So again, we need to go counterclockwise. So we just kind of get it in there somewhere, little bits at a time. Now, because I've done this, you know, with various guitars over the years, I just have a feeling I'm gonna need maybe about like a half turn like that. Usually I go in like 1/8 turn or 1/4 turn increments, but I'll go a little bit past where I think, and then I'll retighten just a tiny bit. So really there, we went almost a full half turn, just under a full half turn, and it's really just gonna be a guess. Now I have to put it back together, tune it back up, and see what happened. And if it's not enough, got to take it off, do it again a little bit more. If it's too much, if the action's too high, fret buzz will definitely be gone in that case, but if it's uncomfortable to play, then you gotta take it off and give it a little bit of tighten. So could be tedious, but maybe we'll get lucky. And like I said earlier, we can always make adjustments and fine tune adjustments from the bridge if we like, but I liked the way it was set up. I liked the action of this guitar, and I don't really wanna even just mess around with that. I guess you'd call it the radius of all those saddles that have just been set up nicely. And I think they're cool right now. Okay, so before I tighten, just making sure nothing's twisted up here. And we're cool. Kind of put those back in the nut there. Make sure, oh, see our saddle is over a grub screw there. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm gonna need to give myself some slack to get that over. Might even need to go like that, yeah, okay. So our strings are seated properly in the saddle and at the nut and headstock. Just making sure they're all right in the middles of those saddles in that little groove there. We're good. That looks good. I'm gonna hold this tight for a good fit as we go back around here. And I think I'm just gonna do 2 screws. There's 2 shorter ones and 2 longer ones. The 2 shorter ones are a little bit thinner and shorter. They go closer to the thinner part of the neck here, so they're gonna be at the top, so I need 1 for there. And what I'm gonna do is just this while we test it and make sure everything's cool. And then if we are cool, then we'll put those other 2 screws in. And if we're not cool, we only have 2 screws to take out. So I'm just gonna snug that up just a tiny bit. I'm not gonna go all the way, because I'd like to do the rest by hand. Okay, all right, good there. And here we go, let's get this tuned up. Still hearing some buzz on that G string, but not everything's buttoned up yet. Once all the strings get at tension, that'll be our true determining factor. Haha. I think we're gonna be good. We're pretty good. A little bit. So a little bit, we may need to go a little more. Let's check the playing position. That tiny bit, that little afterthought, you hear that? It's acceptable to me. Here's the moment of truth. Still getting a little bit. Damn, I'd consider that kind of unacceptable. You'd never hear that through an amp though, with distortion, but still, I don't really like it. We'll see how the action feels. Action feels really good. So we're falling out of tune just a little bit. Maybe we should go a little bit more, and that's okay, you know? Like I said, you just go bits at a time, and it's a big balancing act. Although, maybe the guitar is finding itself at the moment. Because I'm not hearing buzz now. Listen to that. Remember I said getting things buttoned up, letting them kind of sit for a second, just get acclimated? Let's put these other two screws in, which isn't gonna make a real difference, but it's just that final touch to really lock things down, and maybe we won't have to take this thing off. I'm sure hoping so, that maybe this did the trick. But if it doesn't, it's gotta go a tiny bit more. Okay, so we're solidified on that end. Finicky strings. All right, listen to that. I can hear it at the first fret. Yep. Playing position. And if we look at the radius, got my handy Nomad radius tool here. I'm pretty sure this guitar is a 12-inch radius. So let's look at, oh yeah. It's just perfect. Like, it fits over that absolutely perfectly. No rocking, anything. So I don't necessarily really want to raise that G string. Yeah, it's money. So the proper thing to do would be loosen that just a tiny bit more. Hey, we're here in the video. I'm gonna do this fast. Maybe I'll even fast forward. I don't know. Oh, son of a gun. There went a string. That's gonna create an issue. I should have stopped while I was ahead, you know? But anyways, we'll get that replaced in a jiffy. Weird that it broke up there. Bummer. Say, but you know what? I'm not even mad that happened. I'm not happy that it happened, but I'm not mad because it shows you that it can happen. So before you go and do this type of stuff, be prepared. Make sure you have another string handy, which I'm gonna go grab real quick. So yeah, what I meant was make sure you have backup strings ready to go. I was actually gonna do a restringing video on this guitar next. Maybe I should have done it beforehand, I don't know. But this will be quick. Oh, we want that loose anyways, because we're gonna get this guy off here. Forgot about that. All right. So, here we go again. A little looser. And this should do it. Okay. And a wrench. So we needed to loosen just a tiny bit more. I'm gonna go like that and then like that. Okay. Hopefully that does it. Just don't know. Maybe it wasn't enough, maybe it was too much, but make sure you got some time when you get into this so you can finish it and do it right. Looking good. All right, and I'm gonna put all this back together as if I know it's good because I got a good feeling. Okay, here goes nothing. Currently here, no buzz at all. But how's the action gonna feel? Awesome. Just clip this guy off. And my pick. There. Here we go. Maybe that fret needs to be like filed down or something. Maybe that's the case. But totally good enough. And none of that you would hear in an amp at all. So, that's pretty good. I wouldn't call it 1,000,000% clean, but it certainly fixed the problem. And again, very acceptable. As I explained at the beginning of the video, a tiny bit of fret buzz is okay with me, the tiniest bit, because it's just a give and take. If you want a nice low action, a little bit of fret buzz is gonna be inevitable. So this was a successful job, in my opinion. And if you want to learn more about adjusting the string height and your action from the bridge, watch this video right here as I go over it in far more depth, as well as another super in-depth video on truss rod adjustments, just explaining everything in greater detail so you can just be more informed of the whole process. And the more you know about the whole thing, the easier the balance act becomes and you just have an understanding of what's going on there. So appreciate everybody watching. I'm Arnold. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hope to see you on the next one.